Trade? Oh, I guess I won that trade. Catch this. Woo! Oh! Hello, Elden gamers, near and far, and happy Summer of Shadow. My name is Belmonk, and today I want to talk about a very special invasion bracket. Rune level 200. The build you are witnessing here is your classic 80 int mage. 80 int, 40 mind, 40 endurance for repeated casts, 70 V-dex from the offhand staff and talismans, both sorcery tallies and godfrey icon. Let's go! I also have 60 vigor, 88 poise without the jar tally, and enough stats to use a wide variety of the best and somber weapons, because why not? That's a lot of power, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of spam, survivability, and versatility. That's a whole lot of everything. You might be thinking, that's not really a build. That's just a pile of stats and Lusat's staff. You'd be right. You see, it's not too tough to make a build when you're level 200. While it seems like everyone who plays Elden Ring these days wants more, sometimes I find myself looking for a little bit less. RL200 has been popularized in the past year by such illustrious streamers as Aurora Boro, Peeve, Chase the Bro, and Saint Riot. Whether using it as a way to take a casual vacation from the horrific ganks of 125, or to just have an optimal setup without having to, think, several of these gamers have spread the message far and wide that not only is RL200 a legitimate invasion meta, but that it is, in fact, the best meta, superior to the other brackets in virtually every way. And I'm here to prove them wrong. In order to properly illustrate my point, I want to talk a little bit about invasion brackets generally. Elden Ring invasion brackets are rough level and weapon ranges that determine who you will invade. Because people tend to level up their weapons continuously as they level up their characters, in the name of activity, you usually want to have your weapon level match with your rune level in a way that would make sense if you were playing through the game. There aren't many RL125 invaders with +2 weapons because there would be no one to fight. And sadly, my RL1 wretch with plus 25 weapons doesn't get to invade as many speedrunners as he would like. So, there are several invasion brackets that have become popular with invaders, with a few commonly accepted brackets that generate the most activity, and a few outliers that have their defenders. No upgrade invasions at base level isn't as active as RL25 plus 3, but the invasions have a certain feel. Same with max level. In general, most players tend to gravitate towards the middle levels, either sticking to low or mid-level invasions up to level 90 and plus 17, plus 7, or going to the meta level, which, depending on who you were trying to match with, can range anywhere from RL125 to RL168. Each somber weapon level is equivalent to 2.5 upgrade levels for regular weapons, so most brackets tend to fall in the regular smithing stone levels that match the somber level. If you are trying to decide which level to build a character at, think of your somber weapon level first, then multiply that by 2.5, and you should have a good idea of how to make your build for the bracket you are looking for. Invasion brackets overlap, and none of this is science, but it's important to understand the reasoning and thought process behind the invasion brackets that people have agreed are optimal. There is a lot of pushback in the PvP community surrounding the, quote, agreed upon, end quote, meta level of RL125. But ever since the game came out, very little has changed in terms of the opinions about what the best level is for PvP, at least in the competitive scene. With few exceptions, such as RL164 with 99 Vigor, RL125 has been the standardized level for nearly every Elden Ring tournament and for many of the most die-hard, try-hardiest, sweat-soaked of invaders. I'm not here to staunchly defend 125 as the only answer to the question of what is the best bracket. I will merely say this. RL125 is not only the best level to make a weapon level plus 25 build, but but it gives you the best balance between your own damage and defenses and those of the people you will be fighting. RL125 gives you 60 vigor comfortably, 1 soft cap damage stat, and the ability to choose between having tons of weapons in your inventory, a lot of endurance, or some extra mind. Hybrid builds are possible, contrary to popular belief, and one of the biggest myths that the RL200 and above crowd has propagated is the idea that you need more than 50 of your main damage stat to have a credible build. This couldn't be further from the truth. Elemental infusions on melee weapons, namely Holy, Lightning, and Magic, get excellent damage even around level 40 in that stat. Pushing towards 50 is better, but there's plenty of room to have a build with a lot of damage, health, endurance, and plenty of weapons without giving up anything. And this, my ganking goons, is the reason that RL200 is a trash invasion level. In an RL125 invasion, you can be fighting players up to RL157. That means you will likely be fighting people with soft cap damage stats and extra mind for magic spam. When you are invading RL200, you can invade all the way up to level 240. So instead of fighting groups that might have to choose between heavy mind and a little more damage, you are now fighting ganks that have fully hard cap damage stats, full health, lots of endurance, and a metric fuck ton of extra mind to continuously spam Comet. This pure Sorcerer is good, but no matter how well tuned your build is, those numbers don't lie. I think the big counter-argument to this point, and one of the reasons that those streamers and creators prefer RL200, is because they argue that there are just fewer sweaty ganks. It's more relaxing, easier, and there are more honest scrubs to target. First, what self-respecting invader deliberately targets the bracket with the most scrubs? Hard-nosed invaders want to target the ganks that target them. Having a collection of gankers' heads from the RL125 meta bracket is one of the only true decorations of war that a red can achieve. And these elite few gamers know the juice is worth the squeeze. While it makes great clips and is a lot of fun to continuously one-shot low-vigor phantoms and get your jollies picking on the groups that want to avoid PvP the most, not only is that reasoning just an admission of a skill issue, but it's not even true that RL200 is much easier than 125. Because in the RL200 bracket, you don't one-shot the ganks one-shot you. Those hard damage stats and infinite spam equate to an extremely tough road for an invader, even if the groups, both honest and toxic, have relatively less skill in PvP setup than the gamers at RL125. So pick your poison. You can either get blendered by Talal, Brittany, Tiny Take, Yan, and other notable setup ganks that have dual Nagis, sleep halberds, and all the trappings of gankers who have absolutely no soul, no time, no job, and no ability to distinguish right from wrong, slam your head against the wall, and get exposed all with very little chance of winning, yet still dying in the name of glory in the global war against dead-level gankers. Or, you can get blendered by John Dark Souls 69420, and his furled fingers the Great Ballsack and Melania's best pet, and die in anonymity, face down in the deeper depths milk, choking on your dreams of actually being good at the game. At least at a meta level where there are forced trade-offs, you can reasonably expect that, even with a good build, the host can't have infinite magic spam on top of everything else. Part of the reason I wanted to make this video is that with the DLC will come a renewed round of discussion about where to make optimal invasion characters, both for quantity and quality of activity. Realistically, in the few months after the DLC releases, quantity will never be an issue in the DLC areas at any level above 90 to 100. So I think we really have to look at quality. While everyone will be tempted to push their characters higher and higher level to make it so that they don't get one shot by 18 inches of Mesmer, I don't think you reasonably need to go above 150 to target a wide majority of the players playing the DLC after release. If people want to go past 200 to battle the PvE content, let them. For the most part, those will be the people who don't want to play against you anyway. And while no one likes getting ganked at meta, isn't it more fun to play against someone who wants to play with you? Even if it is a group of disgusting latent gankers with less than a brain cell betwixt them. Stay tuned and subscribe for more PvP content in anticipation of the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. Until next time, I'm Belmont, signing off. Oh, it hit behind me. That's fast. Okay, that didn't hit me either. Oh! I deserve that. Oh my god, the insane desync. Ha! Oh. Oh. No. Oh my god. What'd you get freaking frost breath already, you punks? Oh. Walk into this. No? Okay, well, that's fair, I guess. Woo! It's my breath build. I played the breath build in real life, why not in the video game? Bro, it's supposed to be a role-playing game, not supposed to just play the same stuff, bro. Okay, well, you guys are maybe getting this. Desync is so bad. Oh, that's not Hey, Kevins.